to send children to the Volta Lake for fishing. Joy News last week broke the story of how thousands of children are enslaved on the Volta Lake in the hazardous trade. Over 30 children suspected to have been trafficked were on Sunday morning saved after a swoop on some buses conveying children to the Bonafo regional town of Yeji. Joy News' Justice Beidou was with the police in the swoop and sent this report.
My name is Kolidolimo. I am 11 years old. I am in class 6. The name of my mother is Miss Cynthia Collin.
Lost, hungry and scared, this is the story of Derima. She's one of 33 children who has just been rescued from suspected child traffickers on the main Accra-Kumasi highway.
This is the Lindador bypass. It's on the major road from Accra to Kumasi. As we have been following the story of children who have been trafficked from many villages all along the coast of the country. In these buses that you see here are lots of children who have been taken from all of these communities and are being taken onto the lake in Yeji. We have just been working with the anti-human trafficking unit and other NGO staff of the Challenging Height to try to track where these children have come from and who is with them on this journey.
Where were you going?
I was going to Yeji.
What are you going to do in Yeji?
I'm going to collect school fees.
So all the children in the car, all the children in the bus, where are they going?
They are also going to Yeji.
What are they going to do?
I don't know what they are going to do.
Most of these children we've met in these buses, aged between 4 and 16 years, are on their way to Yeji, a major transit point to some 800 villages on the Volta Lake, where over 21,000 children are trapped in the life of slavery as fisher boys. Some of these children have been sold by their parents for as low as 200 Ghana cedis to work in canoes on the Chile Lake for 2 years or more. The anti-human trafficking unit of the police has been working overnight to save these children this past weekend.
The funding is our problem. Funding. So the investigators at times have to take care of the victims. For how long? If you go like this one, we have about 37 children. I mean, it's very difficult for us. All of us need to come together to make sure that this menace is combated by everybody. It is not only one institution that can handle it.
Child rights activist David Anan's organization, Challenging Heights, has been involved in saving dozens of children trafficked into a life of slavery.
Yesterday and a day before yesterday, we planted some investigators into the various vehicles that was conveying children from the various coastal areas, and collaborated with the police to station at Bonsu Junction to intercept those children. A small country, not as big as other countries that we know, but we have almost 1 million children who are not in school. That is very disappointing, and we need to get every child in school.
Ghana passed an anti-human trafficking law in 1995, but that law has done very little to deter the criminals involved in this cartel behind child slavery.
I would like to use this medium to appeal to all drivers, especially those drivers that are applying the road from the coastal areas to the lake regions, that the police are watching them. We are also watching them, and as we have done for others today, it could come to them also.
As it stands, the police say they will put these children in a shelter as they mount a search for their parents and the people who have trafficked them. But with the complicated nature of the trade in humans, that would be a tall order. Justice Beidou, Joy News, Koforidua.
Right, so that's the heartwarming story, if you like, considering that we've rescued 33 children from such a trip. Now, while we may be making strides at this, we would want to know what we can do to nip this trend in the bud. Sami Agbucha is a human rights activist. He's also executive director for IDEC. He's here with me in the studio. We'll talk about this over the next few minutes as far as the way forward is concerned. You're welcome to the program, Sami.
Thank you.
This is good news, isn't it?
Yes, it's good news. Is the first step.
It is the first step.
Yes.
There's a lot more to be done. We have a lot more children to save. The point is, how do we start?
Well, we've started already. We've started with the laws. Parliament has passed the law on anti-child trafficking. We have various laws that have been passed already. And that is the starting point. What we have seen is just a tip of the iceberg. Especially during the holidays, you see this kind of things going on. So we have started. But where are we? That is the question.
We want to move beyond
yes,
that.
we have
we want
to go beyond
this. The laws.
Yes.
We want to move beyond the
arrest.
Once a while.
Yes.
Swoop and the likes and see how we can bring this down to the barest minimum.
Yes.
And I was hoping my question was going to address that. What can we do to really nip this in the bud?
Well, the underlying factors, as we have seen over the years, is mainly poverty. Poverty is a major contributing factor to child trafficking. And also, second on the list is large family size. You know, some of the families are so large. We used to have big and fertile land that we used to farm, and you are admire even you have 4, 5, 6 women or wives with a lot of children. That is a pride. And the farm is able to take care of these children. But today, the land is weak. The yields have dwindled over the years. So it is becoming difficult for families to take care of children. So these children are asked to go and work and support the family. And some of these children you see are children who are looking after themselves. They provide themselves, they provide for their food and so on. So they are in school. During the holidays, they migrate to another community where they can work themselves and raise fees and feeding fees and so on, and come back and continue school. You know, so before we can stop this, unless we go to the root of the problem, uproot poverty and uproot large family size by encouraging family planning. You know,
when we mention some of these things, the thoughts that comes to mind is, well, government seems to be doing some, making some strides in that. We've seen the leap. We've seen how the government has tried to help families take care of themselves. When they talk about family planning, we had a whole period when we were emphasizing on family planning. How come these things
have we sustained it?
Don't work?
Have we? No, it worked. It's not that it's not working. I have worked in communities where we have embarked on family plannings and so on, and we have seen the result when people have accepted that it is better to plan your family. If it is one child, 2 children that you can take care of, that your pocket can take care of, you do that. I have worked in communities where we have given free condoms, where we have assisted women to access family planning in clinics. So it's working, but at what is the scale of coverage? How many people are we reaching? The government itself, the education. We can fight this with education. The third factor contributing to this is lack of knowledge. You see, people do not even know that there's even a law that bar the child trafficking or the importance of girl child or education for children. You know, I always say that no parent naturally will not be so wicked. You see, naturally, parents are not wicked, and to be wicked to children. Some of them are forced beyond their means to do what they are doing. There are 3 levels of people involved in this. The parent who give out their children, and the middlemen who go to the community and recruit children or deceive parents that I could offer your child a job
better life.
Exactly. And then the third party is the destination. Those who actually benefit from this, from the child trafficking, those who engage the children in economic and labor activities.
And these children are told all sorts of sweet words.
Yes,
you heard from the little girl who said she was going to get school fees. From
Of course.
From who?
Of course.
We have no idea.
You know, children are also intelligent. So if you tell them, I'm trafficking you, I'm trafficking you,
They will run away.
They will run away or they will report you. So you have to deceive the parent, deceive the child, and then you do whatever you are doing. So as you said, we have to go beyond arresting the people. How many people have you seen arrested, prosecuted, and jailed? How many people? Have we heard that they have been prosecuted and jailed? We have to see people being jailed, people being punished for some of these things. We cannot allow child, this is complete child abuse, a violation of the fundamental right of a child. A child is supposed to be protected, given access to education, food, and others. And what are we doing? What are we doing? Don't be surprised that these children, for example, I heard the woman complaining, where are you sending them?
Absolutely.
Where are you sending these children? One of the difficulties in prosecuting people also is that when you arrest the man or the parent who have many children, and you have prosecuted and sentenced them to jail, who takes care of the rest of the children?
Valid question.
We don't have a system in Ghana that can at least accommodate, provide shelter to these children, rehabilitate them, and reintegrate them to the family. Mind you, some parents, I said earlier, do this out of ignorance. So we can have time, educate those parents, build their economic capacity, set them up, you know, give them economic skills.
What does this mean?
And this leap that you have mentioned does not build economic skills of parents. It doesn't. It is, the leap is just to bring you from a coma. The leap is supposed to bring you from coma.
If that's what you call it.
Yes, that is how I call it.
Beyond the leap, there have been some government interventions that have tried to put skills at the hands of women, especially. I mean, let's not take that away from the government. Perhaps we need some attitudinal change.
Give me an example of that.
Beyond that, in the northern region, some women were taken through how to, you know, we were set up with shea butter and the likes.
Yes.
We know that.
Yes, of course.
I mean, that's
a good intervention.
But my point is, when we decide that we have rescued these children, like you have mentioned, the system is not available, what does it do to the whole process of rescue?
Useless. Because at the end of the day, you rescue these children and you are sending them back to their parents who are continuing in their situation. So therefore, they are just going to wait. Maybe they will, because the media has covered this and so on. They will wait for the next year when all of us have gone to sleep. Then they send the children back. Or they will find another route where they will not be arrested to send them back, because naturally you must eat. And if you cannot feed yourself, you cannot feed your children.
But why won't, you see, it brings me back to the point that a bit of it, perhaps just a bit of it may be attitudinal. If you feel that indeed working could feed us, why won't the parent find something to do?
That's not to say that they are not doing anything.
Okay.
They are doing something. But they are unable to meet the complete need of children. Children, you just provide route for them, give them food, that's it. They go to school.
They go to school. The school is free.
Supposedly, supposed to be free. But at the end of the day...
No, I'm not sure what you mean. Unless you have...
No, of course. You have to pay broken chairs, PTA, and so on. These small things are preventing some children from accessing education.
These children, you see, if these children were from Accra, I would side with you. But these children are from the Bono-Ahafo region. And unlike the government schools in Accra, where we know, it's an open secret, I don't need evidence for this one, that a lot of charges come along with the free school government is giving our pupils.
Yes.
I do not believe in the Bono-Ahafo region where these children are coming from is the same.
Well, maybe I should take you to one of the villages and see.
In school,
I should take you to one of the villages where they are attached buildings and so on, yet the children are asked to pay PTA. I work in the village. I only stay in Accra.
Then it goes beyond poverty. It goes beyond the fact that these parents do not have something to do.
No, once they are surviving, once they are alive, it means they are doing something. But it is not enough. It is not enough to take care of the entire household.
But that something could have been enough if, for instance, the children were going to school as it's supposed to be.
Well, it could have been enough if they had only 1 or 2 children. The resources available to the family could have taken care of 1 child. What the people themselves don't know is that you have to cut your coat according to size. Is that how it is said? Look at the resources you have, the amount of farm you can farm, or the produce you can produce, and give birth according to that. But you know, we have to reach to them. That is why NCCA or all those government institutions should go beyond the offices, go to the people, educate them on the importance of planning your family. Plan your family, no matter how your situation is. Plan your family.
So then we should call some of these people to book.
Yes. Go to the people, educate them, interact with them, tell them that you are better off when you plan your family. And let's show them how they can plan their family. Sometimes you don't blame them because they don't know.
Sometimes they don't want to.
Yes, there are some who do not want to. If you are going to do that, you have 2 things to fight: tradition and religion. If you tell the person use condom, he's going to tell you my religion says that I shouldn't use condom. Or traditionally, I'm not going to use condom. But we have tried it. I have tried it.
Did it work?
Yes, it worked.
Because it's
worked.
extremely difficult to break people away from their traditions and religions.
If you use the appropriate approach, I am working in better part of
I am happy you have mentioned an appropriate approach.
Yes.
What is that appropriate approach? Perhaps government is unaware of this. We might want to educate them today here.
No, the appropriate approach is first you must know the background of the people. You don't just go telling the people that you don't know any. You people, you see how useless you are because you don't plan your family. If you do that, they will not accept your message. Identify yourself with them. Respect their values. Use what they have to educate them. Let the people themselves come out to say that, oh, we have identified the problem in which we found ourselves, and this is how we think we can solve it. Then you can also add to it. But you don't go with your coat and your bag and tell the people, I'm bringing you condom or pills or whatever. So everybody should wake up in the morning and take these pills and so on.
You're just going to dump it when you turn around.
Yes. So we have community entering approach. Community entering approach that you can engage the people's consciousness and change their attitude.
But then again, it also ropes in the fact that nobody's been persecuted. If people had been prosecuted and jailed for us all to see, maybe some of the parents will wake up.
No, yes, as I said earlier, the difficulty is that the system, there's no system there that can take care of the house while the parent, the mother or the father is saving a jail term. And even saving a jail term alone is not enough. You have to take this parent through rehabilitation, education, reformation. And you have to build their economic capacity. If not, they come back and remain in the same situation. That is what we are saying. If you prosecute the parent, you jail them, where are you sending the children? It is difficult. Sometimes you understand the law enforcement agencies when some of these things happen. Can you arrest the parent? Can you prosecute them?
I think this is starting to be
so we can give
chicken and egg scenario.
So we can give ourselves a grace period where we embark on aggressive community education on this. Then we give them a time frame. From this year we are prosecuting. We are not going to sympathize with you. By that time, we would have agreed or accepted that everybody has gotten the message, and everybody, at least majority of the people, knows the existence of the law. Then we can enforce the law. But if we just pass the law and we sit down and think that everybody is aware of it, no. Fight the economic situation of the people, educate them on the law, punish few to serve as a deterrent.
And we need to create a system that accepts the children.
Yes, afterwards. A system that could take care of the house whilst the parents are saving and learning, I don't want to call it a jail term.
A rehabilitation period.
Yes, they should go to school. You see, they should go to school and be educated on the importance of protecting children and giving them the best right. You know, the very thing that the parents are trying to prevent, that is poverty, by sending these children to slavery and so on, has defeated the very purpose. Because when you send the children to slavery, they are not able to go to school. But meanwhile, mind you, education is the only thing that can fight poverty. So if you prevent your own children from going to school, you are only perpetuating recycling of poverty.
I see. Samuel, we'll end it here for now. Thank you very much. Samuel Agbuche is he's a human rights activist. He's also executive director for IDEC. And when I return, you should expect that we'll talk about the impasse between POTAG and government. Government has said, you strike, we freeze your salaries. We'll find out what POTAG thinks about this. We'll get in touch with a labor consultant as well, or labor experts, and get more on that matter. Also expects me to talk about Eric Amwating and whether or not he's managed to meet his bail conditions and hence is out of the grips of the police at the moment or for the time being. You can also share your thoughts with me on any of the matters we are discussing this morning. There's Shore News on TV. On Facebook, there's Atani Delali Emmanuel as well on Facebook. I tweet at Kimini. I'll be right back.